Attending an event in Kilinochchi today, Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, shared these views on the financial situation in the region.
We are really interested in three things. First I should say we understood there was a problem regarding indebtedness in the north. Our discussions yesterday brought home very vividly the scale of the problem and the scale of the suffering that the debt-distressed families are experiencing, particularly women-headed families. So we think we need to find solutions at three levels. One is, how do we reduce the debt burden? Two is new credit. How can we structure it so that this problem is not repeated? And thirdly, how can we raise awareness and financial literacy amongst the population so that this situation is not repeated and prolonged?
A report published by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce notes that over 80% of local tourism industry leaders do not trust the tourism research statistics and the country's tourism earnings figures published by the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority.
Lanka had earned $3.52 billion in foreign exchange from tourism in 2016, up from $2.98 billion according to the central bank. However, according to the survey conducted by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, 86% of industry leaders who took part in the survey believe that the tourist arrivals data were inaccurate, while 83% of them said that the tourism earnings figures were inaccurate. The Chamber notes that data provided by the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority is based on an incorrect sample departure survey.
The 37 players that we did survey were very clear on this, and the fact that they are not confident about the number of the data on tourist arrivals as well as tourism earnings. Granted that 51% of them weren't aware of how this is calculated, we find that their doubts are warranted given the fact that we looked deeper into how this is calculated in itself. Major sampling errors in terms of the sample surveyed versus the actual tourists that arrived into the country. So we find that majority of the tourists that arrived to Sri Lanka were Indian or Chinese. However, the majority of the survey respondents were German, British, or from the European region itself, which have serious implications as to the result or the tourism earnings number in itself, because it's calculated based on the average spend per day per tourist, as well as the average length of stay into the number of arrivals.
In a backdrop where Sri Lanka is heavily reliant on international financial assistance, such erroneous data could have widespread implications on the budget as well as the country's economy. We draw the attention of the Auditor General towards the findings of the report titled "Troubling Numbers: Can Sri Lanka's Tourism Sector Sustain Growth?"